talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.
Welcome back to another episode of Caged In. I'm your host, Chris DiCarlo. Got a very special guest making his return to the show. It's Aaron Hughes. How we doing today, my man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show, bro.
Hey, man, I know you got a big fight coming up, Cage Titan 60, July 22nd. You're in the middle of fight camp right now. I appreciate you taking a little bit of time, load up on the call and come talk to me, man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, bro. For you, anytime, dude. Anytime.
Appreciate that, my man. Appreciate that. It's been a little bit since we talked on the show, man. So let's talk about the last fight a little bit, talk about that one. And then obviously we'll get into what's coming up in July. You went down Cage Titans 59. You took on Jake Hixenbaugh. Unfortunately, ends up going down as a no contest in the first round. Not what the fans wanted to see exactly. We were hoping to see more of you guys in there because the matchup was a really good fight, and everybody was excited for it for sure. But going into that fight, we'll start from the beginning. What was the game plan going in versus Jake?
So the game plan for that fight was we knew that he threw a lot of left side attacks, like a lot of left kicks, a lot of left hooks. I knew that he was going to change stances a lot. So the game plan was pretty much to catch and return off all of his left kicks. I feel like I was doing a pretty good job at doing that. I mean, the fight was only 1 minute and 12 seconds. But every time he kicked, I would close the distance and I would return like with a kick of my own. I should have let my hands go a little bit more, but yeah, definitely not the result that I was looking for. But yeah,
for sure.
The game plan was just to be better everywhere, and I still believe that I am better everywhere. It's a shame that I'm not getting a chance to run it back, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man. Early in that round, you guys both were exchanging kicks with each other. Were the leg kicks, was that something that was emphasized in your training camp? Kind of try and close distance on Jake since he was a longer fighter than you.
It not so much closing distance because I wanted to strike. I really wasn't looking to wrestle. It just so happens that I ended up in that wrestling position. The game plan was pretty much to take my time. I knew he was going to throw a lot of kicks and just to wait on those kicks and counter off of them with my hands, which I didn't do. I countered off of his kicks with my own kicks, which I feel like he was landing some kicks. I was landing some kicks, but I feel like that whole fight was a disservice to both of us because we didn't really get a chance to show our skills or what. I mean, I kind of got to show what I've been working on. I've been drilling those elbows for a long time, probably like 7-8 months, like consistently in the gym. So I'm glad that I got to show what I've been working on. I'm not glad with the way that the fight ended with the result. People can say what they want, saying that I'm a dirty fighter, whatever. I got fucking 30 fights, dude. I've never had one fall. I've never hit somebody in the nuts. I've never had an eye poke. I've never looking to take the easy way out. So the people that are trashing me on social media and stuff saying that I did this shit on purpose and that I was getting my ass kicked. Like, bro, the fight was 1 minute and 12 seconds. Like, I understand you got to, like, gas your guy up, but, like, come on. Like, nobody was getting their ass kicked in that fight. And to be real, I'd rather be me in that situation than be him who left the fight concussed after getting hit with repeated elbows, and like, yeah, some of them definitely landed to the back of the head, but watching the fight, like I probably watched that fight at least 100 times. I recorded it in slow motion to watch like where the elbows were landed. I threw 8 elbows total, and I'd say at least 3 of them were illegal, 100% illegal, and the ones that were illegal fucked them up pretty bad. He was definitely out. He told me after the fight, he's like, dude, you just put me out for the first time. Some of them definitely landed to the back of the head, but like when you're in the heat of the moment like that, like I seen he was hurt, I was just going for the finish. I'm not thinking like, oh, I got to place my shots. I'm just going, I'm just spamming them. And it's like everything happened so fast in there. So for the people who think that I did the shit on purpose because I was getting my ass kicked, you're delusional. I have no idea what you're talking about. I would never try to take an easy way out. Like I dedicate my life to this shit. Like I spend so much money on training camp, traveling out to New Mexico on my diet, on food, my coaches, managers. Like, why would I want to waste all that money just to lose by disqualification? Thankfully, it was a no contest, but yeah, we'll get that shit back when it comes for sure.
Definitely, man. I know there was a lot of back and forth going on online between, you and your side and, Jake and his side. Has any of that kind of been resolved at this point? Is it squashed at this point? Or it's just kind of like let bygones be bygones and like, go your separate ways?
Yeah, I feel like right now we're just going our separate ways. I heard that they were trying to appeal it to get it overturned with a disqualification, which I uh, like. The appeal process takes a long time, so I know I was like, that doesn't sit right with me. I need to get right back in there.
Mhm.
I was really pulling for the rematch, but um, unfortunately, it didn't happen this time. But I think that eventually down the road it'll happen. I'm just like not really worried about them right now,
Right.
but yeah, I'll definitely be seeing him and his team again for sure.
For sure. So, was there any effort to try and get this one for you versus Jake, run it back at Cage Titan 60, or is that something that just was impossible to happen?
100%, dude. I messaged Mike. I said I want to fight Jake Hixenbaugh again. I said I want the rematch. I said give me the rematch. He's like, all right, I'll work on it. He's a number one priority. I'm like that's who I want. He got back to me a couple weeks later. He's like, Hixenbaugh said no, or his team said no. So
Mhm.
obviously they're not looking to get the rematch. They want that disqualification, but whatever.
Yeah,
Shit
man.
happens in the sport sometimes, and I can't dwell on it. I'm just ready to get back in there, and I'm that's in the past. You can't change the past. I'm focused on the future, man. So whatever happens, happens.
Exactly, man. Like you said, that's in the past now. Let's move on from it. Let's get into what's ahead of you. That's Cage Titan 60. Let's talk about this training camp a little bit, man. You did mention that you went out to Albuquerque. I know that was before Cage Titans 59. You went out to Jackson Wink. What was it like kind of go out there training, at one of the best gyms in the country?
Yeah, like I've trained all over the country. I've trained in Las Vegas at Extreme Couture. I
Hmm.
trained at Team Alpha Male 3 different times. I've been to Jackson Wink twice now. It's always good to like go out there and get different looks and be surrounded by people who want the same things as you. Um, feel like sometimes staying home, you get a little bit too comfortable, sparring, grappling with the same people every single day, going through the same routine. So
Right.
it's good to like mix it up sometimes, and it kind of shows you like where your skill level is actually at. Like I know where I'm at skill wise in the gym. I know I can be one of the best in the world. I know I can be in the UFC. I I've regularly submitted UFC fighters in training. Like I've sparred UFC fighters. Like I put in good work all the time. I know how good I am. I just have to go out there on fight night and prove it. And being in the environment like that, like getting into work with like the New England cartel and training at Jackson Wink, it really puts a lot of stuff in perspective, like how hard you have to work to be at the top and how good I actually am. So yeah, it's definitely a great experience for sure.
For sure, man. I know your home gym is Regiment Training Center. This training camp that you're putting together now for Cage Titan 60, what's it look like? How's it going? Where are you training at this time? Where are you getting your work in?
Yeah, most of my work this camp has been at Regiment Training Center down in Fall River. Got great coaches down there, some great training partners.
Mhm.
Mitch Raposo, Jorgen DeCastro, like high level guys that a lot of people don't even know too.
Mhm.
My boy Carter Whitty, who will also be fighting on this Cage Science card. My teammate and coach Ryan Lavoy, like guys that most people don't know but are straight dogs and
Mhm.
giving me firework in the gym every day. I've been going up to Lausanne MMA Saturday sparring up there, and I've been doing some jiu-jitsu Monday mornings up there with Joe Lausanne, and then it's like cross training every time get the chance. Sometimes I'll go down to Connor Matthews' mom's basement. I'll go up to the New England Cartel, which I haven't really done too much this camp, like
Mhm.
4th of July and like a lot of stuff like that, guys
Right.
doing fights and stuff. But yeah, mostly Regiment Training Center for this camp, but I definitely been out there in the trenches putting in the work for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's like I always say this in every interview, but especially with guys in New England, but there's a lot of like high level facilities in our area that we're like fortunate to have for, especially for you guys that are fighters. So it's nice to be able to bounce around and get different looks from all those places because I feel like every place does have a little bit of a different vibe, different people on the mats. So I think it's always a good idea to go get fresh bodies.
Yeah, it's like sparring with the same people every day. Like you can definitely get better doing it, but if I'm sparring with my main teammate every day, he knows what I'm good at and I know what he's good at. So we kind of just negate each other. Like he's doing what he can to stop what I'm good at and I'm doing what I can to stop what he's good at. And I feel like nobody's really getting better. I'm not really getting those nerves, those fight nerves that you get when you go train somewhere else, not really knowing what you're getting yourself into and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man. 100% agree with you. All right, bro, let's get into it, man. Cage Titan 60. You're going in there July 22nd. The fight has not been announced yet, so I'll turn it over to you, man. Can you let us and the people know who you are taking on July 22nd, Cage Titan
Yeah.
60?
Yeah. I'm gonna be taking on Kris Berberich. He's coming all the way from Alaska. He doesn't have the best record, but I know he's a game opponent. He's gonna bring it. He's gonna throw, and he's fought some top guys. He fought Peter Barrett. Gave Zach DiSabatino a tough fight. Transitioning between armbar and triangle off his back. He's he's a dangerous fighter. He's dangerous on the feet. He's dangerous on the ground. But I'm definitely looking forward to the challenge.
Definitely, man. Looking at your opponent and Kris Berberich, how do you feel about his game? And then how do you feel about this matchup for you overall?
I think it's a great matchup for me to really go out there and show all my skills, show how good I am grappling, show how good I am wrestling, and definitely show how good I am striking. I've been putting a lot of emphasis on my striking. Like I've always like classified myself as a striker, but for this fight, I'm mostly really focused on going out there and putting my skills to the test, letting my hands go, letting my striking go, and fuck if I feel like wrestling, being able to show everyone like I can take the fight to the ground, I can finish the fight on the feet. So I'm definitely excited for the challenge ahead, but I don't see any other outcome besides myself coming out victorious.
Yeah, man, definitely a very entertaining matchup for the fans for sure. You guys both have very entertaining styles as well. Looking at this matchup versus Kris, man, where do you see yourself having this advantage?
Everywhere, everywhere on the feet. He's definitely dangerous on the feet. He's very explosive, throws big bombs. I don't want to give away too much about my game plan, but
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I'm just going to be better everywhere. I know he's got really good arm bars. Most of his wins are by armbar or Kimura, so that's something that I have to watch out for,
Mhm.
and I've definitely been preparing for. But um, I'm I'm definitely seeing myself going out there and really putting the hands on this kid. So yeah, it's definitely a great fight, great matchup. He's coming all the way from Alaska. I know he's gonna be strong as fuck. He
Mm.
like works on like oil rigs and shit. So um, that strength definitely translates, and I'm definitely looking forward to going out there for the challenge and really testing myself. And I've been training with a lot of guys who are very similar style, very heavy stance, heavy grapplers, and guys who just throw big bombs. And I've been doing very well in the gym, and I'm just ready to go out there and let it all hang out.
Yes, sir, man. Definitely very excited to see, get back in that cage. Unfortunately, the fight ended the way it did last time. We'll be able to see you hopefully get a full fight in there this time. And, you know, surprise and shock the fans in the Plymouth Memorial Hall as you always do. When the cage door closes at Plymouth Memorial Hall on July 22nd, what can the fans expect from Aaron Short Fuse Hughes, man?
The biggest thing for me is just to go in there and take my time. And I want to enjoy every second of being in there. I don't want to go out there and rush for a finish. If a finish is there and I see the opening, I'll take it. If I have to hold them on the cage for 15 minutes and foot stomp to win, I'll do that. So what the fans can expect is the best version of myself, the most composed, cool, calm, and collected version of myself. And I'm just gonna go out there, take my time, let my skills show.
Definitely, man. Very excited, as I said, to see you back in that cage. I appreciate the time, man. Last time we talked, we got out of here without me being able to ask you some of the fun questions at the end of the show, like I normally ask people. So, just for you, man, I'm bringing it back. Going to ask you some fun ones before I get you out of here. So
All right,
start it off hot, man. What is your favorite movie and what is your favorite TV show?
My favorite movie is Castaway.
Okay, it's a good one.
The one where the plane crashes and he hangs out with the volleyball.
Yes, sir.
My favorite TV show, of all time, my favorite TV show of all time is probably Breaking Bad. I really like Bad. But right now, currently, I'm big into Outer Banks, Stranger Things, good, and the All American Football Show, really, really good too. So those are probably my my top 3.
There you go, man. I know you are a nutritionist by trade, man. You are a licensed nutritionist. What is some of the best pieces of advice that you can give your clients that are trying to get into nutrition?
I would say one, protein is king. Protein is one of the most essential macronutrients for building muscle, maintaining muscle, and losing weight. And carbs are not bad.
There you go, man. Love that.
Carbs are the devil, but they're not.
There you go. What are some of the things that are on Aaron Hughes's bucket list? If we were to look at your bucket list right now, you got anything on there that you'd like to check off?
Making the UFC walk, man. Making the UFC walk's got to be number one. I really want to go skydiving. I've been telling myself for a couple years that I'm going to do it, but I've just been super pussy. So I'm going skydiving after this fight. God forbid I don't have any major injuries. I'm 100% going. And making the UFC walk. And honestly, it sounds cliche, but I've always wanted to be a dad. So I definitely want to check that off the list too one day.
Awesome, man. I love that. And last one, man, if you were to write a book about your MMA journey, what would the title be?
I never thought about that.
You might have to start thinking about it, man.
Yeah. All right. It would be Short Fuse: The Journey from Nothing to Something.
There you go, man. I love that. It's actually a fire book title, man. And you got to tie in the nickname in there somehow, man, so it all circles back together and works out well. Aaron, I appreciate the time, my man. Before I get you out of here, anybody you want to shout out, any sponsors you want to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, of course. Shout out my sponsors, Ultimate Potential CBD. They've been with me since I started my career. If you need the best CBD on the market, hit them up. My massage therapist, Vanessa, Be Kind, Please Revive Massage Therapy. And then shout out my management team at Jackson Wink MMA. Shout out Regiment Training Center. All my teammates, Mitch Raposo, Ryan Lavoie, Chris Mutino, all those guys. And shout out to Cage Titans and Mike Pulver for having the best MMA show in New England. And I'm super excited to be getting back in there in just over 2 weeks. And follow me on Instagram, Aaron Hughes 145, Twitter, Aaron Hughes MMA, Facebook, Aaron Hughes, and now Now we got Threads.
Yeah, Threads is popping up out of nowhere, huh?
Which is just my same as my Instagram handle. So yeah.
There you go, man. Aaron, I appreciate the time, man. Always a pleasure chopping up with you. I will see you in the building July 22nd. Go out there. Best of luck. Looking forward to watching you put on a performance, man.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you for having me on.
Got down for the count and he can't even talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.